have been warned. Yeah, guy, there's gonna be some talking in this video.
Yeah, it isn't always about RC. For some strange reason, this channel is about remote control. Oh my God. 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, the slow process. The channel is going to be about that. However, every once in a while, there's going to be something different on the channel, and that's just the way it's going to be. So if you think about it in this aspect, RC, right? The RC part in RC Guy Garage stands for recreational content. Yeah, guy. So part of that recreational content is something such as this. This is a mini bike from a company called Orixy Earth. It's kind of like separated. It's Orix Earth. So you've got Orix Earth is kind of, I guess, how this thing is pronounced. This is what's called a classic mini bike. Why do I have a classic mini bike? Well, because the holiday season's coming up, right? And I am that kind of older individual, and what I want to do is bring, or at least try to bring, some of my joy as a kid to maybe some of the other kids that maybe have not, or younger adults, or whatever you want to call them, younger people. I want to bring that experience and remind them that you got things like that. Doesn't always have to be about this stuff. Doesn't always have to be about like Fortnite, Nintendo, and PlayStation 12, or whatever the heck PlayStation thing that they're up against now. It's also about getting outside, doing some real stuff, getting some fresh air, getting some exercise. I mean, sometimes you get exercise chasing after these things too when you crash, but that's not the point. With an item like this, it's a lasting memory that I myself have never forgotten. Yeah, guy, I have never forgotten. I'm sorry, man, but kids need to get hurt. They need to experience pain. And I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about bad stuff. I just mean you need to get out there and you need to experience just literally what's this smile on my face right here? You need to experience a different kind of smile. And I think that this bike, this mini bike, is quite possibly gonna do exactly that. 13 plus ages, guy. Just like some of the RCs that I've got, which I don't know if I've got any boxes, but whatever. A lot of the boxes of RCs say 14 plus ages. Guy, this says 13 plus ages. So that's a big, oh, right there. This product is not a toy. 14 plus ages. So, yeah, this thing does weigh a couple pounds. It's gonna take a little bit to transport. So if you don't have, like, maybe property that you can run this on, yeah, you might have, like, an issue, and you might have to resort to going ahead and getting some kind of an RC kind of something or other. If you're interested in seeing what's inside this box right here, stay tuned. This is going to be a couple of videos. Right now, it's gonna be the unboxing. See what you get inside. If I can fit the time frame in, we're going to assemble it, and that way you'll at least kind of know, maybe an adult or whatever, will kind of know what are you in store for when you get this bike shipped to you from Amazon, guy. You can actually get it from the company itself, but Amazon also ships these items like this. There is a delivery fee. I think it's like $100 or whatever, but it can be well worth it, or should I say a shipping fee? It can be well worth it. And when you think about the price of what some of these things come in at, man, you're really close. If anything, this can be about the same price, if not less, especially considering the age category that this stuff is going after. So let's just break into this box and see what's inside. And like I said, if I've got enough time in the video, you'll see me build it. So let's check it out. So yeah, guy, definitely go ahead and get yourself some coffee. Now, before I open the box, I thought it might be a good idea to at least get some box dimensions, because the box is a pretty good size. So if you wanted to see if this is something you could kind of hide, can you hide it and it not be super obvious? And that's obviously dependent upon whether you're going to build it now or you're going to build it with your kid. I'd recommend building it with your kid. I know everybody wants a different experience, and sometimes you just want to get the key and start it and take off, but build it with your kid. So we're coming in at a box length of 39, a box height of 26 inches, and then a depth of, let's just call it 16. It's 15, but there's a little bit of this So call it kind of like 16 inches in width, 39 inches, and then the 26 inches in height. I am going to unbox it on top of my Vever welding table. I thought this would keep it elevated because that's kind of how I want to build it. I have no idea what it's like inside the box, but we're going to figure this out. All right. Okay, so bringing you topside here. You can see it's stuffed in styrofoam. I'm assuming this is a section that's just gonna come out. So one thing that I did kind of thought was weird, when I was kind of transporting the bike, all of this, like, I almost like want to call it like welding slag. It's literally like welding slag. There's those little metal balls everywhere and it's all inside. Yeah, there we go. So wherever you do this, I can't even see inside. Ah, there we go. Caution, add engine oil. So this is very important. Does not come with any engine oil. Does not come with any fluids. No fuel, no engine oil. So this is important. So you can see you got the handlebars right there. They're kind of kicked at the side. There's the head tube. So yes, the thing has... It is coated or covered in like a welding slag or grinder material. So if you've ever worked with metal, if you've ever done like any welding or any metal work, there's like a grinding slag or grinding material. So when you grind metal, there's spits of just pieces of metal everywhere. I don't mean like shards. I mean like the little stuff right here that I'm feeling with my hand, and this box is loaded with it. So right off, you can see on the headset or the steering, it does have bearings. There was supposed to be a zip tie to hold the bearings in place, but it doesn't look like they're gonna come out or have a problem. So handlebars, looks like everything is pretty much attached. So you know what that means? That means I'll be putting this thing on the floor. I think I'll break this box down. I'm gonna slice down this box. Never mind. I've got the knife, I might as well use it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing it this way, but there is styrofoam in there. And it is kind of guiding my blade. Boom! There we go. There's a reveal. That's a pretty good reveal right there. There you go. This is what the mini bike looks inside the box. Like I said, all that welding slag, all those pieces of metal, it's all over the place. So wherever you build this, you might want to build it inside a garage. You might want to build it in a sunroom. If you do it on the kitchen tile floor, make sure you clean up after yourself, man, because that stuff is literally everywhere. I knew I could hear that garbage in there. So they give you pieces of styrofoam that, you know, kind of keep things relatively safe. Handlebars are right here, wrapped in some bubble wrap. Yeah, this stuff is everywhere, dude. Nice beefy tires, man. Nice beefy tires, filled with air. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we got a little kickstand right there. Looks like we do have some kind of a bag here. There's another bag right there. This might be like a toolkit. Oh, look, it's got pegs. Pegs that kind of are spring-loaded. So we've got some type of a oiler. I believe this is probably an oiler for the chain. So you can go ahead and oil the chain. There is a little thing right there. What do we got there? Looks like it's some kind of like a plug. You know what? That might be the plug to oil the chain. There is a... Oh, okay, so that is what it is. So this is a way to get in there to be able to put oil in here and oil the chain, I guess, like this. The only thing I do know is you just want to make sure is if you do this... Yeah, there we go. Oil clutch. Well, okay. All right, let's just pull some of this foam off. Here's a good thing right there. I had showed my shin. There's a reason why I showed my shin was because of this particular area right here on the bikes that we had when we were kids. Didn't really have this kind of like thought out protection. We got a pancake style fuel tank. Not sure how much fuel that thing carries, but probably enough to have a good time. Nice cushioned seat. Front fender is stuffed in the back here. Some stickers. So we got a sticker pack. That's cool. Oh, covered in slag, dude. The stickers kind of got a little mangled, but that's all right. We'll lay these out flat. So looks like we've got the, it's like a red kind of camo. So you can see Oryx Earth mini bike. This is that front plate. So you got the little front plate thing there. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you've got it in blue too. So it's like a blue camo. A weird like skull leaf pattern or teardrop kind of looking thing. What else we got? And you've got kind of like almost like an orangey kind of camo. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to tell me what color you think this thing should be. The sticker's already coming off. We're gonna place these on a flat area so that they can kind of relax. So a couple of things did kind of pop out. Owner's manual and safety instructions. You can see there's all the placement of the stickers. So it looks like you're putting something here, putting something maybe on the fenders or something. Something on the fender there. And then it looks like there's something right there. Not sure what the heck that is. See, this showing almost what looks like a slightly different... Now, it kind of looked like it was slightly different, but I guess it's not. This definitely is something, because of what we're looking at here, we are talking about a gas engine. You're definitely going to want to go ahead and go through these manuals. If you're not familiar with how small engines run, you're going to want to figure this out first before you just go ahead and toss some fuel in it and let it rip. This is a 4-stroke motor, so we're not talking any oil mix, just regular unleaded goes in this tank. Starting your mini bike, inspecting your mini bike, riding your mini bike, shows you all the controls. So you've got the choke lever, the fuel lever, the fuel valve lever, the pull cord, handlebars, you know, the whole thing. We're not going to go through this. This right now really isn't anything that I need to know, but it does talk about maintenance. So you've got air filter maintenance, removing sediment from the fuel system, clearing the engine if it was flooded. This is actually pretty good, man. So you got the air filter maintenance, brakes, inspecting your tires, adding air, chain maintenance, which is pretty cool, clutch oil procedure, so lubricating the clutch bush, removing that rubber plug. You just want to make sure you actually don't lubricate the actual clutch. That's not what it's saying, because if you lubricate the clutch, it's not going to engage. It's going to slip. It's going to burn. So yeah, don't lubricate the actual clutch. You're lubricating the bushing that's there. So you can see right here, this is basically what it's showing you. It's showing you where you're going to be adding oil to. Right there. Silver washer, you're adding oil in between those sections right there. They're showing you with the cover off where to add that oil, and it's in between basically that silver washer and the circlip. So right before the chain, right before that, you want to oil that little section right there. So right here is an important note. It is recommended that the clutch bushing is oiled prior and after each ride. So then it gives you a nice maintenance schedule right here. The first month or 20 hours, every 3 months or 50 hours, 6 months, 100 hours, every year or 300 hours. And it also gives troubleshooting. In case of things not running or you're having issues. Part support, specifications. I'm not giving you part numbers. They're telling you what the items are. Same thing here. Telling you what the items are so you can go ahead and get parts in the event of something wearing out, or if there was an accident, maybe the seat tears and you want to get a new seat. Questions or missing parts, they give you a website, you can email them, and there's also a physical address. Made in China. All right. This is the assembly instructions. I really don't think I'm going to need much of this. It's very, very self-explanatory, but it does give you clear, concise assembly instructions. It's showing you detailed pictures, which is great. Gives you some words to read. Yeah, very good that it's showing pictures and words. We're not going to have an issue. How much does this thing weigh? I don't know, like 80 pounds or somewhere around there. Big wording right there in yellow. Before you start the bike, you must add 12 ounces of 10W30 motor oil to the engine. If you do not do this, you destroy the engine. You don't want to buy a new engine. Buying a new engine for this thing is probably going to be about as much as the whole bike. Owner's manual, general gasoline engine. Again, there might be like break-in. There might be some type of like break-in instructions here. Just going to open this up real quick. All right, so basically this is about the engine. So pre-operation inspection. Pre-operation inspection. So it's actually not an inspection, it's inspection. I think that's funny. Basically just telling you the parts of the motor or the engine, where the starter thing is, the switch, dipstick, all that garbage. Let's get the rest of this out of here. I'm going to go ahead and take this little plug and stick it back in there. Whoa. I just stuffed it down and in. It's gone forever. I think it went down in there. So you can push the plug in too far. Crap, dude. Seriously? Let's get some of this cardboard box out of the way. Oh! Yeah, dude, this slag stuff is everywhere. Wherever you do this, you're going to be vacuuming up a mess. And here's a look at the other side. So this is very well protected. Very well protected. It's a 105cc motor. Here is the disc brake. So it's a manual disc brake. Cable's a little funky looking the way that is. We got the pegs right here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. Flops the pegs out. Tire right here. Yeah, so the forks are actually underneath. You see what I'm saying about all this welding slag stuff? Look at all this, man. I knew this thing was covered in this stuff. Boy, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. It is all over the motor. It better not be anything inside here. Look at all this stuff. So this should be a toolkit. I'm wondering if the tools in here are what I could use to build this thing. God, dude. Yeah, look at that, dude. Look at all the tools. So it comes with all your fasteners. Check it out. Yep, comes with all your fasteners. These are your clamps for the handlebars. Comes with a bunch of wrenches. Comes with a screwdriver flat blade. Front axle for the front wheel. And most likely that's the steering tube rod right there. It does have stops on the steering tube too. And this is the handle for this deal. So little kind of semi T-handle thing for the spark plug. And that's, oh, and an Allen wrench. Allen wrench, what's that for? Allen wrench has got to be for something here. For the clamp, oh no, it's not for the clamps. What the heck is the Allen wrench for? But the, no, dude, I don't know why it has an Allen wrench. There's got to be a reason why there's an Allen wrench here. Front fender is jammed up inside the back here. So there we go. Front fender, most likely it goes this way. I'm guessing, I don't even know, guy. Kind of goes on there somehow, but we got to get to the forks. Go ahead and have a sip of coffee. Ah, that stuff's hot. All right, make sure you clean up your mess so nothing's in your way. All right, let's get this thing out of here. So I'm going to lift up and kind of pull the forks out from underneath. This should be the heaviest lift, I'm assuming, of this whole operation. So basically just going to tip the bike up, grab these forks out of here, just like that. So the little plug that I lost for a second there. So I'm going to leave this in here. This is a great platform. I just got to get rid of some of this cardboard here, but non-suspended, so there is no suspension. Obviously, this is the suspension. The suspension on something like this is your suspension. Very, very similar to a Big Red, except the Big Red had front shock suspension, but very similar to that. This is what your suspension is. You can get upgraded shocks for the front that basically replaces this right here. So that might be something that you could consider. So we're going to go ahead and just start putting this thing together. This is going to be very easy. Like I said, this is that plug that I lost in the bottom of the thing here. I'm going to go ahead and install this plug here. There we go. Look at that. Nice. But right there, it's got stuff everywhere. Warning, add 12 ounces of 2030 motor oil. I just do not like the fact that the slag stuff is everywhere, dude. It is all over this entire thing. Up here, it's everywhere. So we're going to do some cleaning on this thing before anything. Wiring, kind of a little weird there. I just need to get rid of some of this box. Holy smokes. Check it out. I wasn't kidding. I wasn't really wasn't kidding about the slag. There's going to be too much slag, even with this magnet to grab everything. I guess you could play with it. Holy crap, dude. The amount of metal garbage in this is ridiculous. Look at that. So definitely be careful with the metal garbage. Seriously, I can't believe how much slag is in this box. Yeah, guy. You're definitely going to want to use an air compressor, and you're going to want to air compress this entire thing. Wow. So let's get the forks on here. So just keep in mind how you're doing this. So when you install this, you're going to want to put this underneath. That's just how it goes. I think the only thing that's kind of weird is like, there's no like, well, maybe it does stick out a little bit. Okay, so it does. So there is a section where the bearing can kind of ride onto. So place it under, kind of holds in place. I'm going to take this, stick it down through the top. That bolt goes all the way down to there. These are clamp bolts, so I'll go ahead and do that. Regular bolts. And I am going to use the tools that they provided. Hopefully they provided everything that's needed. Yeah, it actually looks like they did. These aren't the best tools, but looks like they're gonna work all right. I would think about thread lock and stuff, but we're gonna tighten this down. Okay, so there we go. There is a slight amount of play, but that's the shaft inside the bearing. I am gonna give it just another crank, just to make sure. I think we're good. Yeah, there we go. So you can see it's got a stop on both ends. Don't want to put your finger in there, you'll pinch them. You want to take the bars and I'm kind of not... Why are the wires kind of coming around? That doesn't make any sense. So the wires, cables are coming on the outside. Kind of seems like, well, the plate's there, so maybe if I go like this, bring the wires up like this, maybe that's how that wants to go. We are going to untwist these, because they are kind of a little funky twisted. There is a zip tie here. I'm kind of not liking how some of this is. So we're gonna have to roll these controls, because right now, with the way this is, that ain't gonna work. So I'm gonna grab the handlebar clamps. All right, we've gone head mount. We have gone head mount. Kind of using this like a little parts tray that they've got here. It's kind of seems like it's kind of semi-convenient. So we're gonna go ahead and boy, I almost thought these were plastic for a second. I was gonna say they are knurled. Man, if these things were plastic, jeez, I probably would have freaked out. I'm gonna go ahead and take this and roll this up on top. That throttle definitely needs to be rolled down. There really isn't any knurling on the handlebars. That's all right though. I'm gonna get one started for now. I'm gonna drop this down and into place. Take the other one, do the same thing. Down and in. Get it into its spot. Take one of the nylocks and just start it on the bottom. Like that. Grab the other nylock, do the same thing. Alright, so now that at least can kind of hang there. Light perspective here. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Top and bottom, the clamps are not the same. So obviously that top bolt's going to go into a recess, so you want to keep that in mind. So we're going to keep that loose, slide that in place. Take the top of the clamp and get that to go into its little hole like that. Same thing with the other one. Into the hole. Put a nylock underneath, just hand tight up until it hits the nylock portion. Same thing on the other side. Bring it in. Little nylock thing here. This will be a good project to put together with your kid. So I do want to, right now, I want to roll these controls down. So we need a Phillips. All right, so I've got their screwdriver thing here, which has got slag all over it. So I am going to use the tools they provided to assemble this entire unit, and the screwdriver already stripped. Oh my god, are you serious? I think the screwdriver already just stripped out. It did. Screwdriver already stripped out, dude. So you're not using these tools that they gave you. Piece of garbage. If we're being honest, man. What the hell? Alright, so the throttle grip. Gonna go ahead and undo this, hopefully. Holy crap, dude. It is gonna strip out. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, dude. No way. Yeah, it's totally gonna strip out. Alright, so we kind of came across our first snag right now. The hardware that they used is really soft, and this thing is jacked on you. Holy smokes. So, I'm going to have to grab a screwdriver that really bites into that so I can roll the controls down, because the way this thing is right now, it's putting way too much strain on the controls. So let's grab a regular screwdriver, a Phillips. Who the heck even is Phillips? I ended up using this because I knew that this had a nice blade on it that would fit really tightly into these screws. That piece of garbage thing that they gave, that's garbage. And this obviously does have a slight little bit of wear on it. This one had nice engagement. Holy smokes, man. So I was able to roll that down. Do I need to roll the switch down too? Looks like the switch is all right. But I'm going to roll that throttle down just like that, how it should be. That still seems like I'm not liking how this is going, man. So I may take... See, I'm gonna disconnect whatever the heck they got going on here. I'll use a different zip tie maybe. I'm not liking how these cables are really done. Not liking that. It might say something in the manual. Maybe I should check that out, but right off, just my brain is not liking how some of this cable management is going. They've got it going right under the frame. So this might be a thing where I possibly take off a section of the controls. Kind of almost seems like this wants to spin one more time that way. Kind of seems like... the cables kind of seem all right now. So maybe that cable was just kind of like an issue. Maybe this is going to go here, but I am kind of semi-big on how cables go, so... Yeah, actually, no. I'm going to take the switch off and I'm going to reroute the switch. That's just, yeah. So the switch, it's got a Phillips screw right there. Yeah, I'm changing that. Look at that zip tie right there, right in the way. Must be holding like the sheathing on. All right. So yeah, you got to be careful of the hardware. So I'm just going to reroute this switch kind of like the way that I want it to go. I am going to have this come up here for now, like this. And I will probably zip tie these things the way I do it. Man, I almost feel like I want to put that switch a different way, but it should be fine. I'm complaining too much now. Go like this. The little metal strap. So you got to pay attention to how this little metal strap was. So we'll put that on there. So I'll have to see after the fact, once this unit is down, how I'm going to want this switch to be exactly. I'm going to go ahead and loosen that up too. So that's what that, that's what the hex is for. I'm just going to loosen it for now. Just kind of roll that up just like this for now. Handlebars, I'm going to kind of semi-align. I'm assuming I'm going to want them slightly kicked forward, like this, is my guess for now. But I want to align it inside where the handlebar is. You want to make sure that where you put this, that it's even in between the clamps. These will settle out, but you want to make sure it's even within the clamps. So what I'm going to do is tighten one down. I'm going to tighten one down. That way it kind of stays in place. I still cannot get over how much slag is in this thing. Making sure I'm in the valley. The valley is slightly off. Check what it's like. It looks like it still needs to rock that way a little bit. And that looks pretty even. Kind of gauging it by where my fingers kind of go in. So we'll be able to adjust this stuff later. But what I want to do is I'm going to bring this one down the backside just a little bit. You might want touch-up paint, because as you do this stuff, you are going to be scraping some of the paint off. And make sure we're aligned still. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm good here. Make sure I'm good here. Feels pretty even as far as alignment. And you can see I've got a space there and I've got a gap there. So I'm going to go ahead and start to crank down these ones right here. Again, it's definitely going to be faster if you use power tools, but I just wanted to show you assembling the bike with what they give. Can it be done? So that's even. Switch it over to this side. Do the same thing on this side. All right, we're going to stay right there with that. That's basically on. Got the controls kind of rolled down. We'll mess around with the switch, see where the switch needs to be placed, see where the brake needs to be placed. Throttle seems free. This switch is going to end up probably being connected here somehow. I just want to make sure that there's no, so there's no conflict with the wires. I got it crossed like this. Hopefully that's going to work. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can throw on this front tire now. I am going to have to get rid of some of this tray. Slice off some of the front tray here. Cut it down and then give it a little... Yeah, guy. All right. So the zip tie that's in there is obviously to keep the bearings in place. Tire tread, as far as the way the tread goes, just like a monster truck tire, you want that direction to be going this way. So the way that the arrows are traveling is the way that this is going to roll. So we've got the axle right here. We don't need to grease anything because obviously these are a sealed bearing. These spacers go on the left and right side after you put the axle in. So we're going to go ahead and put the axle in, and I'm going to match the back. So I'm going to put the shaft in from the left side or right side when you're facing. That way just things are kind of looking normal. Going to grab this sleeve piece. Get it started over here. Drive it in. Get the other sleeve piece ready to go. And bam. This is a nylock as well. And this is something you definitely want to crank down hard. You don't want this coming apart. So they gave you this, which is going to be for the big nut on one side. And then you've got the other small one to tighten it. So we're going to give it some cranks. So one thing I can tell you right off, these tools are not going to be enough to really crank this down. It does work, but yeah, guy, nah, this is safety here. These things are garbage. So these things are not going to be able to get that tight enough. So what I'm saying is that when you're looking at the gap on the bottom here, there is a slight gap on the bottom. There's a slight gap on the bottom here. You might want to go ahead and add like some type of a washer on each side. But I'm going to go ahead and grab real tools and tighten this tire up. That way we're not going to have an issue. The tire spins nice and free. That's nice to see. Obviously, sealed bearings, we shouldn't have an issue. As far as movement, we've got no movement in that tire on the axle shaft. So that's a good thing. We're going to go ahead and now we're going to throw on the front fender. That's this piece right here. First thing I need to do is figure out how this fender goes. Let's see, is it right? That's kind of not looking right, is it? Maybe it does go the other way. Ah, there we go. Is that it? Ah, there we go. That makes way more sense. It's even got a little section right here where I think you can put a sticker. I think that's how that goes. Yeah, that kind of looks like that's how that goes, doesn't it? In one way, it kind of looks like it's right. In another way, it kind of looks like it's wrong, dude. Because I feel like you want to have it this way so you have less splash up. I don't know, man. Nah. All right, so it's got the bevel. We're just going to install it this way. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the way it goes. I guess that looks right. Yeah, because it's kind of got like the curve and yeah. All right, so it did come with fasteners in this bag right here. So in this bag, we got some fasteners. Let's see what we got here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that I know we're gonna need. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got these little things here, these little savers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we're dealing with the Phillips. Definitely not gonna be using the Phillips they gave. So install this into there. Line up the hole the best you can. And shoot this right in there. So we got 1. Don't crank them down yet. Move that up a little bit just to get a good alignment on the hole. And it's threading in. 2, 3. I would definitely recommend using thread lock. So I'm going to end up taking these bolts out, or whatever you want to call these. I'm going to take these bolts out. It's almost like it's a screw. I'm going to take these out, and I am going to use thread lock because with a mini bike, there's usually a lot of vibration associated with it just because it's a small engine. And just with the thing driving itself, I could see these fasteners come undone. I could definitely potentially see the fasteners coming undone if you did not use some type of Loctite. So the last 2 screws looks like they're going to be for this front plate that's right here. There is no light with this. However, there is a model that you can get that does have a light. I might go ahead and get that light kit that's for this thing. Almost called it a truck. Another swig of coffee. It honestly takes no time at all to put this together. So you could probably put the sticker on, but I'm going to put this on for now. I'm not even going to sticker it up because I kind of like the way it looks blacked out. I might do something else, but I actually like the way this thing looks blacked out. So you don't need no stickers. I don't need no stickers, guy. It's almost like I want to do it like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm going to put these wires in and behind. I'm just too crazy about how things are. Looks wise. I don't like binding of things. I don't like things binding, but it doesn't look like there's any binding going on. There is a little bit. You know what? I might just do that. Put the wire on each side. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So you got the little washer things. Push that through the plate. The plate's got a design on it so that you can go ahead and put the sticker inside and lay it in. So I'm going to separate the wires like this. And I'm going to go ahead and put the screw in place. Just like that. Grab these ones. Do the same thing on the bottom here. And then screw it down. Again, if you don't want to lose these parts, I would Loctite them just for that extra security. So this wire will end up being zip tied to that, but that looks all right. That looks all right. I will end up doing probably a little bit more on cable management. I think I'm going to want to do that. Absolutely. So I'm going to want to put a zip tie here. So they didn't have a zip tie here. I am definitely going to put a zip tie here. And that's going to keep those wires out of the way. That is actually beautiful. Having the controls left and right on the same side, so the handlebars left and right, same side, definitely seems to work really well. Nothing's binding, nothing's getting in the way. So like I said, I will put a zip tie there. Oh, did they provide one, or is this one I cut off? Check it out. I don't know where that zip tie came from, but guess what? I'm going to use it. So the other thing that I'm noticing too, now when I do this, I go like that. I just want to make sure, yeah, no binding. Looks really good. The lines are good. No craziness. Throttle's still nice and free. That's important. You want to make sure that that throttle stays free. So the way they did the zip ties, man, they did it that way. Like I always explain to you how you'll find those zip ties under the dashboard. You'll find out where they are, and that's how they did it. So I'm going to go ahead and flush snip that, because that right there, that actually got me. So you get some flush cutters, and go ahead and flush cut their little zip ties that they got there. Go over the whole thing. Same thing on this one that I just put in. I'm going to just do that for now. So we're good. Now it's not sharp. We'll rotate those inboard. That way it's inside the frame and nothing's kind of like in an area where it could contact somebody. Brake-wise, let's see what we're looking at here for brake. Kind of don't like the way the cable's kind of coming in here. We might have to check that out and address that. It's got like an odd arc to it. This might need to be... it is loose. Yeah, it's got a funky kind of like... it's got a funky angle on it. I'm not really particularly caring for that. Because what's going to happen right there is that is going to wear on that cable. It should be a nice... It should be a different pull than how they've got that. So that just might be cable routing. So it almost seems like just because of the way they've got the cable routed, that's kind of positioned in that way. So, and that's just that attention to details. When you go over a bike like this, you're getting something that's RTR, it's ready to run, kind of, sort of. ATR, almost ready to run. You really should pay attention to certain things. You want to make sure that when you put a bike like this together, go over all the details. If this is for a younger individual, it will school them or train them or tell them the proper way. Dude, I am going to have to put... Yes, dude. I am going to have to do this. Abso-stinking-lutely. Yes, so I can definitely cut these down. I can definitely resize those Firebirds, dude, and those Firebirds are going to go on this thing. That's going to be a riot. I can definitely figure this out. I might leave these either black, or I might do like RC Guy Garage or something like that. Might do it like that. RC Guy Garage. That might be cool. Either way, man, this thing is pretty cool. I'm super excited. I haven't ridden a mini bike in years. Now, granted, we still need to deal with the clamps. We still need to go over the engine, but you know what? I'm gonna leave that for a second video. Just remember, when you get to this point in this mini bike, that you have to add oil. It's literally everywhere. I mean, come on, even right on the plug right here, it says add oil. Same thing with the clutch, making sure you oil the clutch before and after each use. There is some tags up here. These are probably, yeah, look at that, dude. Everywhere. Stop. Oil required. Very, very important. If you go ahead and start this thing, I mean, it might be good when you first pull it. It'll probably be all right, but it's only going to run for like maybe 10 minutes and you're going to destroy the engine. It's probably run longer than that, but yeah, just make sure you put just regular conventional motor oil in it. They do have stuff called break-in oil. I don't go that route because all you need is literally just regular oil. And I think something like this, you're going to want to have with break-in oil maybe about, I'm going to guesstimate 3 to 5 hours of use. Probably more on that 5 hours of use. And then you're going to want to change the oil. If you're smart enough, I say if you're smart enough, you're going to want to head yourself over to the RC Guy Garage merch shop. You can go ahead and get yourself a SKYRC GPS holder. And if you get yourself a phone holder and something that you can mount on the handlebars, you'll be able to know how fast you're going, either by installing a GPS app in your phone or using the SKYRC GPS, because what that will do, the SKYRC GPS data analyzer, alongside with one of these, you don't have to get the black. The black is just kind of stealth. This is black with a white strap. You got black with a black strap, orange with a black strap, green with a white strap, black with a blue strap, green with a blue strap, orange with a blue strap, orange with a white strap. They're called the GPS encapsulators. All the encapsulators now come in all of the strap colors that I have. Yeah, dude, you can do yourself like a 0 to 60. Think ain't gonna go 60, but you could do 132 feet. See what you can get in a 1/10 of a quarter mile. So anyways, this is RC Guy Garage, and like I said, sometimes it is about having some smiles for miles in a different kind of way, and that is with the Oryxy Earth mini bike, 105 cc's, and I think the maximum weight capacity is 230 pounds, so 230 pounds, I might have to drop a couple just so that I'm not, you know, I'm not hurting the clutch system, but you know what? I'm going to drive it anyway. And yeah, you're going to see my daughter on it. You're going to see her boyfriend on it, and hopefully a couple of other people. I'd love to get my wife on this thing. I think she would have an absolute blast. Now, remember, when you drive something like this, you have to remember about protection. It's still a motorized vehicle. You don't want to get the road rash, the elbow, you know, things happening, knees all scarred up, face all scarred up. Wear a helmet. Whenever you're riding some kind of something that's on wheels, well, except when you're inside of a car, unless you're racing, but when you're riding a bike, when you're riding something motorized such as that, make sure you get the protection. Protect yourself. Why have the scars all over your body? Maybe on the guy it's all right, but I'll tell you right now, if you rip your knee entirely off, you're not going to be happy. And is that something that, you know, you should be afraid of? Yeah, dude. Make sure you protect your younger individuals, your younger kids. You set the proper example. Wear safety protection. Wear a helmet. That's number one. If you're going to wear nothing else, make sure you protect this right here, because this is what powers everything else in your life. So anyways, RC Guy Garage, and the next time you see me, and the next time we see this mini bike, we're going to be adding oil, we're going to be adjusting it, starting up, we're going to see if this thing can pull a tank like me. What are you doing today?
Hey, you guys!
Oh, that was cool.